wisdom teachers, gentle healers, and bold leaders of our global awakening. Welcome to the Joshua Jordan Experience. Listen to gather mystical insights for an extraordinary life. Hello. It's my joy to be here once again, talking to you and sharing what I have learned from Joshua over the past 40 plus years. Now, today I thought I would get into the subject of now and tell you a little more about multidimensional being, talk about the idea of multiple incarnation in the only moment of time, which is now. And that can get a little bit challenging sometimes. So I'm presenting you with a little more of the challenging ideas about oneness lately. But these nuances are not that important when it comes to us making the breakthrough of transitioning from the fear-based reality to creating the love-based reality that we all want to manifest, visualize, experience, and be a part of. So let's talk about that right there. That statement I just made. Of course, I am speaking from my personal time reference, that the fact that the age of enlightenment, the time of peace, love, and global understanding hasn't come yet. And yet, according to Joshua, this world already exists. As a matter of fact, more than one world of this type exists, as there are multiple worlds manifesting along the new timeline of the love-based creation, the love-based reality. So I do believe I've explained that in the mass consciousness right now, the majority of souls manifesting on Earth come here with the ingrained belief in scarcity and separation and not enough and a whole lot of things to be afraid of. Because I just came here, I want a life, and now I'm afraid it will end, I will lose it, that there is such a thing as death. So you are a multidimensional being. So therefore, you are as dead now as you will ever be. You come from a soul that is manifesting multiple lifetimes upon the earth in different time frames from the reference of time. However, they are all happening in the moment of that. How can I wrap my mind around that? Well, Joshua developed this analogy some time back, and I've shared it with other people, and some have found it helpful. I hope you will too. So picture yourself now in a vessel, and let's call that vessel a boat, and you're in a boat on a river. And from where you are in the river, you can obviously see what's around you, what's going on right now. And you can also look back. You can look back upon the parts of the river you've already been traveling, and you can see that there are some mileposts, perhaps back there, some things that happened to you that are recorded in your memory. But you can look back and you can see, and you've even mapped the road you've traveled since you got in your vessel. So you know everything that's occurred on the river of time prior to where you are now. And also, right now, you can look ahead. You can look down the river of time, but you can't see very far because the river bends and what's around the corner just isn't visible to you, but you know and believe that the river goes on around the bend. Now, also, I want you to imagine this vessel, this boat you are in, begins to rise up out of the river. higher and higher and higher. And as it goes up, you finally reach an altitude where it begins to hover, and you look down upon the river, and you are so high that you can actually see where the river starts and where the river ends from this point of view. Also, what you are able to observe from this altitude is that the river begins and ends at the same time. In this one moment of now, you can see this river of time that you had been traveling begins now and it ends now. And in between, there is a course. And from that course in the river of time, there are even some branches that flow off into other dimensions, other landscapes for you to enjoy. So, from the high point, yet not being in the river, but looking down upon it, you also recognize that you can get in and out of the river of time at any point. So perhaps one point in the river is considered to be 1786, and another point in the river of time, it is 3076. The numbers on the years are not so important when you see that it all happens now. So your soul is at this level, hovering above the river of time and manifesting its spirits that will become humans upon the earth at several different points in the river of time. So while you are living your lifetime, the lifetimes of your soul are happening simultaneously. You see, there really is only a concept of time, and it's linear flow when you're in it. So when you're in your vessel in the river of time seems to flow only in one direction. And you cannot see where it started, but you remember every place you've been. And you don't really see where it's going, but you're pretty sure it goes on. So the river of time begins and ends right now, in this moment. And as a human being, when you manifest, you're able to get in and out of the river of time at any point. Now, I'll add this interesting twist on this story. You might enjoy knowing this. Because your life is eternal, and I do mean your life is eternal. Once you move out of the river of time, if you choose, you can come back to the river of time at any point throughout your lifetime, any point, and you can relive it and you can make a different choice. And that's how you explore these tributaries that flow off the river of time in another direction, because you can come back and relive portions of this lifetime making choices you didn't make. Perhaps you don't get married to that person. Or what if you decided not to go to college and get that degree? Or what if you chose to commit that crime and what might happen to you? So you see, you can relive this lifetime infinitely. There is absolutely no limitation on that. However, Joshua tells me people get bored with that after a while and they're ready to move on, perhaps try something different, do something new, rather than reliving portions of the lifetime just ended. and it doesn't end. So again, words are difficult in trying to express this concept that the life you are living right now really is eternal, although it will have a time frame cataloged, so to speak. This life for me began at X 19 something and it's going to end in X 2000 something. So this time frame is set for the Jordan lifetime. However, I could come back to it and relive parts of it at any point. And believe me, there are some choices I might like to review changing and see how it affects the outcome. I do want you to remember, though, the only changes you can make are your choices. You can't come back and change the decisions of others. You cannot come back and have any power over other people any more than you have right now. All the power you have is you, and you are powerful and you are beautiful. And you have the freedom of life everlasting, life eternal. Also, when you leave the river of time and you are connecting again more completely with the soul that is non physical, and you start thinking about what other life experiences you might like to have. Uh, oh, you can't learn everything all in one lifetime. Ah, duh. And yet that lifetime is eternal. So you really could learn a great deal just through one life experience. However, you don't learn everything in just one lifetime. It's difficult to try and cram all of that into a 80, 90-year span. And some of us certainly don't get that much. So you want to choose to be existing, being consciously aware that I exist in other time frames with other faces, choosing a different career, perhaps, most likely choosing a different career, choosing other ways to interact with your spiritual family. Oh, we'll talk about that too some point. But yeah, in this lifetime, perhaps the person who was your mother in another lifetime is your son, or the person in this life who is your father was also your cousin that you hung out with. So, we play different roles for each other as we move through our incarnational states so that we can learn everything we learn. So it's something we agree to do with each other and for each other. That's spiritual family. So as you are connecting again with the soul that is etheric, in other words, not physical at all, but manifesting physical humans on a planet, you may say to your soul, I'd really like to experience being a sailor in the 1800s, finding out what it was like, and so your soul says, oh, I happen to have a lifetime just like that, waiting for you. And then you incarnate into what looks like a whole new lifetime. Now, let me make this clear. That sailor in the 1800s is not, and never will be, a past lifetime of Jordan. Get it? Or that preacher in the year 2095 is not a future lifetime of Jordan. Oh, so now what we're getting, what it means to be in one eternal moment of now. This lifetime, this lifetime is the one that is Jordan. There's only one Jordan lifetime. And that way I get to be totally unique. I like being unique. And there's only one Jordan lifetime. So I don't have what I would consider my past lifetimes or my future lifetimes. However, my soul has multiple lifetimes. So through my soul, I am able to connect to multiple lifetimes and experience myself in different times with different faces, doing different things, learning what life can teach me in those various times on earth and in those different career adventures on the planet. So Jordan doesn't have any future lifetimes, and Jordan doesn't have any past lifetimes. Jordan has this lifetime, and I want to make the most of it. And you see, my soul doesn't have past lifetimes or future lifetimes. My soul has lifetimes that are happening now. Not thinking of past or future, that is irrelevant. So when we look at the fact that all time is happening now, then we realize this idea of reincarnation is kind of a misnomer in that it leads you to think that you are reliving a series of lifetimes in which you are developing so that you don't have to incarnate anymore. Right? Uh, the funny thing is, we love to incarnate. We actually love being on the planet. We love the five senses and the experiences we have here because they're so real. They seem so real. And Earth, being on Earth in a specific coordinate of time makes it easy. You don't have to recreate your time and place every morning when you awaken. You're not a bird. So you don't have to reclaim your territory every morning you awaken. Now, so my soul is having multiple lifetimes and they're all happening now, which means Jordan cannot reincarnate, recycle itself. And I'm not on a path of evolution that is taking me any closer to the source that created me because I was never separated from my source to begin with. We do not have to reunite with something from which we are not separate. So we cannot be separated from the source that created us. We live in an eternal moment of now. The illusion that this lifetime had a beginning and shall have an ending is something that we accept in the river of time, and it is totally irrelevant once we are out of it. So you get a whole different perspective on what is now when you are not in the river of time trying to figure out how can everything all be happening at one moment? That just doesn't make sense to the human mind. It's illogical. It's irrational. How can you possibly think there's only one moment of presence? Well, we gain an expanded understanding of what human existence really is. When we get our expanded understanding of the purpose of a lifetime, then we realize this confusing concept of only living in the now can mess us up, you know. Sometimes some people in talking to me being very well aware that I believe there's only one moment uh, giggle or something when they're talking to me about the past or the future or to make plans and make appointments. And it's like, no, don't worry. I'm living a human lifetime too. I have appointments. I make plans. I have future things I want to do, and I have stuff in my past I look back on. I put out a video early on in our Joshua Jordan experience about um, past, present, and future, how they are all happening at this time, and they are a gift to us, and how that works in the course of a lifetime. So I hope you'll go back at some point, maybe listen to it. It might sound different to you now that I've talked about looking at the river of time from the point of view that your soul sees it. So I will step aside now to the best of my ability. I will bring through Joshua to talk to you. Yeah, that's my plan. Okay, thank you. Hello, beloved one. Oh, I am thrilled to be here once again, having this opportunity to speak to you. And if you are hearing my voice, I want to ask you, are you hearing my voice even when you're not listening to me on video recording? If so, I ask you, please contact Joshua, contact Jordan. Sometimes I mix our names up. I almost called him Joshua the other day. He is definitely very much a part of Joshua. So when you contact Jordan, you are contacting Joshua. And Jordan will do what he needs to do through his technology stuff to connect us so that I may speak to you. I have a gift for you. I know who you are. I see you. You are a teacher, you are a healer, and you are a leader. And I want to work with you. I have energy essence to share with you for your mission. And I also have information for you. And the information I will share with you is not intended to make you think a certain way. It is intended to help you expand the way you look at things, the way you think about things. And this expansion is very beneficial to your connection in oneness. And your connection in oneness is extremely beneficial to your mission. Yes, your mission. It is your mission that I want to assist you on. I'm not trying to drag you onto Joshua's mission, but if you have agreed to work with me in this lifetime, you know. And it is time for you now to connect with me directly through Jordan. All right, I have said enough about that. I will talk to you about my perspective of the eternal moment of now. You see, there is only now in which consciousness exists. Consciousness is only present in the eternal and infinite moment of now. Consciousness cannot exist in what you think of as the past, nor does consciousness exist in what you think of as the future. Consciousness is only present now. It has always been and ever shall be that way. And that is the very expansive, infinite, and absolutely eternal moment of existence. From your point of view, living a lifetime upon the earth, it is quite obvious that you had an experience maybe 2, 3, 5 minutes ago, and you have plans for what you may do after you finish watching this wonderful video. So you have plans for 5, 10, 15 minutes after this video. And perhaps you have plans for a trip you're taking in a couple of weeks. Well, you'll be gone for X number of days. And isn't it joyful to play in the river of time, to be a human and to have the freedom to remember your past? And when you do your best to focus on the moments of joy. Remember and refresh the lessons and the value they brought to you. And remember the love, the moments of life you have already experienced that were filled with love and laughter. Yes, let the past be your friend. And if in the past you have some traumas, that is normal for a human. And there are things you can do to recover from the psychological and emotional marks made upon your consciousness during those experiences. So, yes, we can heal and recover from the past. You can actually change the past. Oh, now that's unique. Yes, you can change the past. And I will talk about that some other day. And of course, you are shaping your future from your point of view. And let me remind you of this. In the river of time where you live, your thoughts and feelings are the seeds you are planting in the fertile ground. And your seeds are watered with your attention. So I will repeat that because I want it to sink in. The thoughts and feelings you have right now are the seeds you are planting in the fertile soil of opportunity, of change. And these seeds that you plant, you water them with your attention. So, do imagine what you want to create. I ask you to envision a future for the people of the planet that is based in harmony and love, and that there is peace on earth. All nations live under a peace treaty with one another and will not violate it for any reason. I want you to imagine living on a planet where there's no hunger, and that the diseases you have battled for so long have been cured and eliminated. Yes, imagine the world you want to live in, where there's plenty of everything for everyone. No one is hungry. No one goes wanting or feels a lack. There's plenty of everything for everyone. And that humankind really is living that and living out being kind to humans and to animals and nurturing the planet. You are the planetary stewards. It is time to stop taking advantage of Earth's resources and begin to nurture and replenish. That's just beautiful. I will go ahead and conclude my comments to you now. It has been my joy to spend this time with you. Thank you so much for listening. I am looking for my students. Come to me. Thank you. I love you. I bid you good day. Thank you, Joshua. I don't have any words of summary to add to that. It's just I'm going to go out and splash around in the river of time. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye. Thank you for listening. We hope you heard something to ponder and gained inspiration for your journey. Please join us again next time. Joshua says, let the light grow, let love show, and let your life be fun.